Hi, boys and girls. I'm Jason Weaver, and I can't find Trevor. Can you help me find him? Great! Just move your cursor over Trevor and click on him, and I'll know you found him. It's not a race, guys. Ow, ow. Stop it! Stop it! Okay, you know what? You did it! Yay!
Hi, I'm Trevor McCarty. Sorry I'm tardy for the party. What are we doing for this one?
I maybe didn't write anything for this part.
Why not?
Well, if the show's not gonna try, then why should we? The Kannagi family is your typical loving family of mafia-esque jerks who wield supernatural fire magics until one day some of the guys start getting their life murdered out of them by some mook what prefers wind magic. The number one suspect is this Kazuma goon who just blew into town slinging wind every which way. See, 4 years ago, he was the son of the Kannagi's top dog, but he got chopped out of the family tree on account of he couldn't light it up with the best of them. He's got the motives, he's got the means, he's got the mauve jacket, so the Kannagi sent his spicy tomato of a cousin Ayano to bring him in. I caught a fish this big! Yeah!
But it turns out Kazuma wasn't the killer after all. It was this cult of wind magic users the Kannagis hired to find the killer, and they kidnapped Kazuma's little brother Ren to sacrifice to a demon, so Kazuma teams up with Ayano to get him back under the charade of being hired by his former family to bring Ren home, because only a sucker gives the innocent life of his younger brother more significance than his own reputation. What's that you say? Kazuma didn't acquire this power to let people die?
I didn't acquire this power to let people die.
Or did he?
Why did my brother have to die?
Because he was weak. You can't say these bastards didn't have it coming to them. So what if she kicks the bucket? What's the big deal?
He's actually pretty awful. He and Ayano kill the demon, by the way. Yay!
Together, Kazuma and Ayano team up to fight mysteries and solve crime by defeating villains like women and children. Then Kazuma's brother meets a girl who can't sing, so she's going to be sacrificed to the earth or something. And he teams up with Kazuma and Ayano to save her from the recycled plot of child sacrifice, but she dies anyway, and it's so sad and important that the very next episode, everyone goes to an amusement park to watch Ayano make goo-goo eyes at Kazuma. Then Ayano gets challenged by her new rival, Catherine, a magic user from the most powerful family in America, the McDonald's. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha!
The terms of their fight is that if Catherine wins, she brings Kazuma to America. So Ayano uses all of her cunning to not just hit a thing with her sword, but hit more things with her sword.
That was an incredible fight.
No, it wasn't!
After the 4th straight episode dedicated to making Ayano realize she wants Kazuma to rock her like a hurricane, the actual plot of the show finally starts episode 17, with Kazuma seeing the ghost of his dead girlfriend around town, and random students at Ayano and Ren's school developing powers out of nowhere.
My God! Do you know what this means? Someone out there is granting superpowers to the one group of people who should never have any power whatsoever. Teenagers. Pandemonium, they call it. A website that grants you power at the cost of your soul. You are charged to defeat paranormal monsters or each other for experience points to increase levels and power, like those newfangled video games you've heard so much about. All as a part of a plan to revive a demon and destroy the city by the guy who killed Kazuma's girlfriend. So to recap, teenagers lead to internet, leads to video games, leads to Armageddon. This bums Kazuma out so much that he decides to kill Sephiroth before he can star in the Phantom of the Opera.
Ayano snaps Kazuma out of his generic anti-hero rampage by giving him some sweet neck action. They and Ren stop the apocalypse by yelling at it, and the bad guy is surprisingly okay with it. All is saved, Kazuma gets to touch Ayano's butt, and there was much rejoicing.
Yay!
There's a thin line between a complex character who will lie to cover their true motivations and one who is inconsistently written. Kazuma is nowhere near that line and contradicts his supposed secret heroic nature for the sake of putting a David Caruso one-liner in a situation several times an episode. Sorry, but not every black sheep gets to be Tyrion Lannister.
There is no one better than Ayano at what she does, and that is showing up too late to be useful unless she's with Kazuma, yelling, not knowing what things are and asking obvious questions so they can be answered for the audience. Also, the pink and turquoise for her hair and uniform really clash something awful. She's pretty much a strain on every sense I have.
He sure is.
Kaze No Stigma has a small point in its favor that it does have a proactive, if contradictory male lead and some fun interactions between its characters, most of whom would have made better main characters than the actual main characters. But it offers nothing new even within its own storytelling. Almost every story arc involves a character being sacrificed to something for some reason by a villain with next to no motivation. The romance is almost as tiring as the show's clashing, oversaturated color palette that fails to hide the stiff, average-at-best animation. And that's Kaze No Stigma. Average at best, a waste of time, a piss in the wind.
I was really hoping Kaze No Stigma was going to be awesome, and sadly I was let down by a show that doesn't know the meaning of overarching plot and consistency with, well, anything. I will give the show Miter credit for having a cool idea, but then I have to take it all back because of everything that's bad about it. The main idea of magic and family feuds was poorly executed and felt lackluster. The animation and action sequences were so inconsistent and so many still frames were used during the fights. Not to mention how often the frame rate would change and look really bad. I also believe a plot is important when watching an anime, and I failed to see a consistent one that wasn't pointless after that episode ends and the next one starts. The main male lead is easily one of the most inconsistent, wishy-washy characters I've ever seen in any show, and I just got sick of how damn repetitive and boring the show became. I even tried watching it drunk, and I just couldn't stand it. I was only entertained by how bad it was and just laughed the whole time. Sorry but not sorry, Kaze No Stigma, but I think you could use a lesson from Avatar: The Last Airbender on how it's done. The show, not that crappy movie made by that guy that makes crappy movies.
Man, shows like this are always the hardest thing to review because it's not good, but it's not even entertainingly bad.
Yeah, and then we have to try even harder to make the review entertaining to show that we can make something good out of bad material.
And we pulled it off, even though you're... you.
Oh, really? What do you mean by that?
Oh, I think you know what I mean by that. And so does Mr. Fish.
Please put me back in the water!
Yeah, you know what's up.
Jason, my friend, I want you to remember this moment someday very, very soon.
I probably won't.
I know, Jason. I know.
This room got cold all of a sudden.
I feel
Like
like a
a
woman.
woman.
Bow, bow,
Bam, bam, bam.
Alright, let's do this.
I'm putting that after the credits.
It's alright, it wasn't just me, so I don't give a shit.
It's alright, it's okay. We may look the other way.
Alright.